Okay, so we're still doing factoring quadratics when a is not 1, and we'll always look for a common factor. And we're going to try this one. If I look for a common factor, no common factor here. At this point, I'd like you to pause the video and try it yourself. There's a lot of steps to it. If you get stuck, watch a little bit and then pause it again. Watch a little bit, pause it again. But try and do as much of this on your own, because eventually that's what you have to do. So step number 1, I multiply these two outside terms. Negative 12x squared. The top term here is negative x. And now I go and I ask myself the magic question. What two numbers multiply to get negative 12? Negative 12 and add to get negative 1. Well, I know 4x and 3x can get 1 negative if this one here is negative. Shifting over then to my box, this is a 4x squared. And I know that this one here, negative 3, goes in the bottom here. And then I know these two together fill up the space because it's the negative x. The negative x is comprised of those two. Doesn't matter which column I put them in. And I can go here. Now it's a matter of looking at common factors. 4x squared and 3x has a common factor of x. Negative 4x and negative 3 has a common factor of a negative 1. Remember, this is the boss sign. When I look here, this is the boss sign for this scenario. If I look at these two, 4x squared and negative 4x, I get a 4x, because this one is boss. Whichever one is the outside one is going to be the boss. Whichever is closest to the box that you're going to pull out from. 3x, so this is the boss. Minus 3, and so it's a positive 3. And so if I do my factorization, I get 4x plus 3 and an x minus 1. If I just double check it, I get 4x squared. Good. My double happy face makes a 3x and a negative 4x, which is indeed negative x and negative 1. Super. Okay, in this problem here, we have a 4x squared, a 26x, and a 12x. First thing I always look for, well, you should pause the video first and try it yourselves before you hear anything that I do. So pause it, go ahead. All right, so pause it. First thing I notice is look at all these numbers. They are all even. So I can pull out a factor of 2. So I'm left with a 2x squared plus a 13x plus 6. I can combine them and put them into, I multiply those, which is a 12x squared. I look at 13, goes here. So I don't go to the original one, I go to the factored form version here. Then I ask myself the magic question, what two numbers multiply to get 12 and add to get 13? Well, that's got to be the 12x and the 1x. Now I go to the box. This term here goes in the first position. This term here, the 6, goes in the bottom position. It's a positive 6. And then finally, these two make the 13x, and it goes in these positions here, and 12x. And now it's common factor. Common factor between 12x and 6 is 6. Common factor between 2x squared and x is x. Common factor this way is 2x. Common factor here is 1. You always have to pull at least a 1 out. And so now I'm ready to put it together. I get a 2 parenthesis an x plus 6 and a 2x plus 1. And that is the factorization of 4x squared plus 26x plus 12. Now, try this one on your own. We'll check it when you come to class, but do try it on your own, please.